Here, we're going to talk about UFC Vegas 40. This is our first live stream in a little while, honestly. All of our travel schedules are freaking nuts. But we're here, and I say, wait, it's me. Jacob may or may not join. He traveled all this last week. He's home now, but he's going to the gym, and Jared's like an old man Jacob's like an old man where if you mess with his schedule, like he just can't handle it. He gets sent in a tailspin if something changes in his day. So we'll see. Not sure if he'll join or not. He'll probably be in the live chat being annoying as shit. But we'll see if he joins. What's up, Jesse? What's up, Tony? Tony, you're picking Ladd. I'm on the other side of that one. Can you explain why you're picking Aspen Ladd after a 2-year layoff, busted knees, going up in weight? And I've been very high on Aspen Ladd in the past. I don't think this is the right matchup for her. Why don't you explain to us why you're going that way? Nicholas Lee, you're on my side, buddy. I completely agree. Listen, Aspen Ladd could go out there and just shock the hell out of us, and look amazing. And I've picked her to do that, right? In her last 2 fights that were canceled, I picked Aspen Ladd to win. I thought she would do it really, really well. But there's too much going against her, and Norma Dumont's legit good. Aspen Ladd going up in weight. So we'll see how this goes. Only a handful of bets for me because a few of mine were canceled. You see the Jordan Wright bet was canceled. And then I had the over on rounds for Jordan Wright. That was canceled too. So I'm left with only Norma and Bruno for money lines. And then my only prop bet is just a half unit on Jim Miller to win inside the distance. And that's kind of a long shot, honestly. But I figured I'd throw that out there. But, Norma, Bruno, those should happen, honestly. So I actually really only have 2.5 units in play this week. And that's because my other 2 bets were canceled. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Aspen Ladd's wrestling is interesting because she has takedowns, but they're not nice, clean, solid takedowns. But we'll see. We'll see. I do not have Aspen Ladd in my DraftKings. I have Norma, obviously. I don't also have Aspen in there. That might be worth doubling up because the pricing this week is super weird because I think the 9,000 pluses will win. I think, obviously, so all of their opponents will lose. So it's really hard to get 2 9,000 pluses, and there's not really a lot of live underdogs on this card, or at least not enough that I'm super confident in. And you're always looking to go 6-0. This may go 5 rounds and put up some good points, and they'll just go at it. So, I don't have Ladd in there. Maybe I'll make a few changes right before this thing starts, but for now, no Aspen in my DraftKings. But obviously, if you're on that side of it and you think she's going to win, she's somewhat affordable, so you might as well give it a go. Especially considering how expensive she was last week. Yeah, DraftKings this week was hard. The pricing was weird. And honestly, I think all the pricing was mostly accurate. But, it definitely made things hard to figure out. Because it took me forever to do my lineup because I just did not like anything. Hold on. It's very bright. I just didn't like anything that I had going on with the money that I had. Yeah, Sean, I saw all your comments this week. You're definitely anti-Norma. But keep in mind, so Aspen Ladd, okay, you said she faced a tougher competition. Who, though? Neither one of them. It's not like Aspen Ladd has a win over anybody in the top 20. And she hasn't fought in 2 years because of 2 major knee surgeries. She just missed weight, but I'm not going to dog her for that because I understand the circumstances around that. She's coming up in weight. I mean, for having not fought in 2 years, a bunch of fights canceled. She's now back to fight Norma. This is not an easy welcome back type fight. So, and listen, I've been very high on Aspen Ladd in the past, and honestly, it's better for the division if she wins. So, I just hope whoever wins looks really good doing it. right? I don't want it to be sloppy or somebody to be getting beat up and then pulled something off the last second. I want whoever wins to look good doing it, make a statement, do something with this division, because right now it's people get 2 wins, then Amanda Nunes beats them, 2 wins, Amanda Nunes beats them. So hopefully somebody can look good, create a plot line, and actually make something happen. Yeah, I did my lineup about an hour ago, honestly. I used to do them early, and if I love a situation, I will do a lineup early, but things change, and then I get frustrated. So I ended up finalizing it about an hour ago. So we'll do this live stream. We may do this all the way up until start time, which is in about 2 hours. So if anybody drops, let me know, because I'll be here with you and I won't be able to see any of the news. So we'll see. It should be, it's funny because these cards are not great. What's up, Perry? These cards are not great, but I have to do my research. I got to watch tape. I got to dig in and the plot lines and all this and all that. But then you end up actually, or at least me, doing all the research I have to do for this channel. I end up looking forward to some fights that honestly on paper are probably pretty trash, but I end up looking forward to them. And this ended up being a good card after I've done all my stuff. You know what's funny? Let me check my lineup. I think I ended up with him as well because the pricing, like you said, the pricing is awful. It's super hard, but let me see if I did end up with him because I kept putting him in and taking him out. What do you mean I have no lineups? Here we go. Upcoming. I kept putting him in and taking him out, putting him in and taking him out for that exact reason. So I do have him in there now because he's $8,200, and that's literally the amount of money that I had left. And there's nobody else at that price point that I believe in enough to put in my lineup that I didn't already have in there. So it's a tough DraftKings week. Last week, I don't know if you guys saw the post, but Dan won over $8,000. He put the same entry into a multi-entry, a big multi-entry pool. So he had 2 in there. Each one won $4-something thousand bucks. I think he split first with like 100 people, something like that. And so he ended up with $8-something thousand, and he had a loss. So, 6-0 is not always achievable every single week because of how the pricing nets out. And if mostly favorites win, then 6-0 is never going to happen. It's priced so that you need underdogs to win. Yeah, so if you're looking at the screen, you see that I have a very small bet on Jim Miller to win inside the distance. I do have Jim Miller winning. Listen, his opponent's making his UFC debut. He's got some power. His striking is okay, but it's weird. It's really weird. And his striking is perfect for a grappler to take advantage of, right? So his opponent, a ton of kicks. And anytime you're fighting a grappler, the last thing you want to do is throw up a million kicks because that's just more opportunities for that person to catch him. So Eric Gonzalez, who is his opponent, really long kicks constantly. So those are easy to catch. Not easy, but that's out there for somebody to catch. And then he backs up. So while he's backing up, Jin can come in, push him against the cage. And then when he stops backing up, he throws a really long jab. Not a big, super powerful right hand, just a really long, sloppy jab. And again, easy for Jim to duck under and make something happen. So listen, Jim Miller's 38. He's got 1,000,000 miles on him. And any one of these days, he's going to look like an old man and just get pounded out. But I think Jim Miller, this is just a good matchup for him. His opponent's a striker. His opponent uses range poorly, but thinks he uses it well. And I think that's going to be really good for Jim. Just come in there, take him down, grind him. I don't know if he'll get a stoppage. That's why I only did like a little quick half a unit on him just to see what would happen. But I do have him in my DraftKings lineup because I think he'll score well, whether it's control, maybe a stoppage, or at least a few takedowns. So. Yeah, and he may win a decision. I mean, he was too much of a favorite to go straight money line. And honestly, I kind of forced that bet because after the Jordan Wright fight was canceled, it's like, oh, so I only have 2 bets. And a normal person who doesn't do content, I would just leave it there. But you know what? I've been winning money every week. My account has more than doubled in the last few months because I only win a couple units at a time, and I started with 10 units. So, now I'm up past 20. I'm at like 22 units or something like that. So I put a little more than I put an extra little bet on there that I wasn't positive would win. But normally I only bet on things that I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. I don't chase anything. But, you know, that little Jim Miller sprinkle is a bit of a chase, but it's a half unit, so we'll see what happens. He could. Felipe doesn't really have power, though. That's the problem. And Andrei Arlovski is so in and out. And Andrei Arlovski's style lately has just been dance around, jab, 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 dance around, jab, jab, jab. So it's going to be hard for Felipe to make clean contact. And then even if he does make clean contact, he doesn't really have power. He's not a power guy. He's also a volume guy. This honestly might be a ballet dance between Andre and Carlos, just dancing around and light touches against each other. So we'll see what happens. Again, Andrei Arlovski, he's 42. It's similar to Jim Miller, where he's actually looked really good recently. Not as exciting as he always has been, but you know, he looks good. And one of these times he is going to look 42 years old and just get absolutely folded with, you know, maybe not such a big punch. So this could be it. I doubt it, but this could be it. Rob, great analysis each week. Thank you. We put in a shitload of time and effort, not only to put together my notes, and I know you guys can tell like I'm reading notes half the time, but what am I supposed to do? 13 fights is 26 fighters. I cannot memorize all of that. So it takes a ton of time to do the analysis, to put together the notes, and then a ton of time to edit and do the channel and all that other stuff. So I appreciate that you notice. Nunes a lot against Carnelozzi to start the card. Carnelozzi was in trouble a couple of times against Na Liang, and Nunes is much more dangerous than Liang. Yeah, so 100%. The only reason, so I picked Nunes to win, but the only reason that I wasn't 100% this is going to happen, you know, domination, like the only reason I was a little hesitant on it was because of a 3-year layoff. A 3-year layoff after a USADA suspension, we don't ever know what that person's going to look like. So I have to assume that she's going to look like what she used to look like. I have to assume that she'll be out there, you know, as sharp or almost as sharp as she has been. But layoffs for strikers are really hard. And, you know, it's 3 years, not a year. 3 years is a long time. So I like Nunes as well. Her striking is super clean, very high level striker. And honestly, Carnelozzi's not good at anything. Sorry, not great at anything. She's okay at stuff. She's jacked and tough. Jacked and tough. And I think if we've learned anything watching MMA, being jacked and tough is not enough all the time, right? Like there's skill involved. There's technique involved. And she does not have better technique than Nunes in anything. So she could bully Nunes because she is big and strong. She could bully her against the cage, and the 3 years ring rust could be an issue. So we'll see. But I think Nunes beats Carnelozzi, but there's just so many question marks there. So you watched her get ragdoll on the regional scene, but have you seen her lose? Like, have you seen her get knocked out or you know, bullied by somebody with much lesser striking than her? And here you go, Rob. 56-4 in her Muay Thai career. Plenty of experience. 100%. 100%. And Carnelozzi, and listen, this is going to, Carnelozzi could bully her way to a win here. I'm not saying that's not possible. That is absolutely 100% possible. The love for Carnelozzi is weird to me because Na Liang did drop her. Absolutely dropped her. And the only reason Carnelozzi won is because Na Liang gassed. And because if you remember, Na Liang was Jacob's lock of the week. So I remember watching that fight with him, and she just dropped Carnelozzi with the first punch that wasn't even very big. And just, she went too hard, got exhausted, and then, you know, ended up losing. But Carnelozzi is getting so much credit for that win and how tough she is. And she is tough. But that was, if Na Liang had 1/2 an ounce more gas, then she would have won that fight. So either way, Carnelozzi could come out there and beat the piss out of Nunes, who hasn't fought in 3 full years. But I have to assume that Nunes is fight ready. And in my opinion, Carnelozzi with a full camp fight ready versus Nunes, full camp fight ready. Nunes wins. Nunes wins because Carnelotti's not a grappler. She tries to bully but doesn't have nice, clean takedowns. Her striking is sloppy as hell. And Estela Nunes has beautiful striking. So that's that. We'll see what happens, obviously. But you're really anti. Would you like to do a bet? I'll bet you. And I'm not being a dick about it. I'm serious. You're very much so on the Carnelozzi side. So I'm happy to, just like I bet that other guy in the comments a couple weeks ago, I'm happy to bet a little bit, just a friendly bet amongst the YouTube fam. Let me know. We can figure something out. Nobody going to step into UFC not ready like that. Yeah, and keep in mind, she was supposed to have made her UFC debut. This is not short notice. She was supposed to have made her debut, then got popped by USADA, took 2 years off, and now she's back. So I could definitely see people coming in not ready if it's like, this is my crack at the UFC. It's short notice. I'm not ready, but I can't say no. That's not the case here. She was ready, said yes, and then, got suspended and all that crap. And now she's back. So I imagine she's prepared. I did mention that I think, 3-year layoffs for strikers is much harder than for grapplers because the timing with striking takes a little while. Yeah. In the description of this video, there should be a link. Or if you go to wewantpicks.com, click on DraftKings, and then there's a link there to get you into the league. So hop into the league, join. It's all free. If you want to make a contest, I've opened it up so anybody in the league can make a contest if you guys want to play for some money. I saw somebody made a free contest, which literally makes no sense to me because I already have a free contest. And if you win mine, I'll pay you. So I don't know what a second free contest does for anybody. But you guys do what you want. Make contests and make them free. I don't know why, but make them free or do a paid contest and play each other for some money, whatever you guys want to do. Listen, it's a fist fight. So anytime we think somebody's 100% sure thing, it doesn't go well. So Bagarai should win. He's by far the better striker. Super clean, beautiful striking with a ton of power. Brandon Davis is on a 4-fight win streak, but it's against low-level regional scene guys. He went 2-5 in his UFC run. It was against good competition, but the reality is Brandon Davis is a kickboxer. His takedowns are just okay. He is a black belt on the ground. So if he gets there, he could be he could be a problem. But, Bagarai's or Batgarel or Bagarai, his power in his hand is just so good. Striking is just so clean. I think he'll do well. What the hell is she talking about? What did I say Sakana had that was good Chinese food? No clue. I said the General Tso's was good. These are the texts I get from people because I'm fat. Anyway, so yeah, anybody can win. I do think Bagarai, you said you had him in 60% of your lineups. I think that's appropriate. 60-40, he wins. I think that's appropriate. Hey, Angelo, how do you feel about more on? Tell me the number, and I'll tell you how I feel. And I can look it up on my other screen here too. Monkey Knife fight at the end of the week is so tricky. That's why I beg you guys to play lines before our live stream is over, at least before Wednesday, because they move. So I see the Brandon Davis. I see 94 for Bagarai and 48 for Brandon Davis. Honestly, more is probably the play. Less on Dana, more on Brandon Davis. There should be some back. If Bagarai's landing 94 strikes with that power, there'll be a stoppage. But Brandon Davis is a tough dude. I imagine he'll try to grapple a little bit. So, and 48's a low line. Less more is probably the play there, but you never know. Underdogs this week are super hard, but I would say Norma Dumont, at least what I'm comfortable with. Norma Dumont's a good underdog this week. I like her to win. Yeah, and you're right. And Bagherai's got a ton of power. I mean, that's why I like Les more, because I do think Brandon Davis has some stay power. He'll be in that fight for a little while. But Bagherai's 94 strikes is very high, and he has so much power. So 94 for him is high, but Brandon Davis should get past 48. And that's why at this point in the week, that's why I like slates, because the lines for straight up fights are tough. So move to a slate and see if you can get a line inside one of those. Let's see. Yeah, so I mentioned your 60% is probably accurate. Sean, you're saying KO or bust. I don't know about or bust, but certainly KO is his path for sure. Yeah, that's solid. That is solid. Let's see. Let's catch back up. Felipe versus Andre is giving me anxiety. I honestly think that's going to be one of the most boring fights on the card. I think they're going to dance around, jab, 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 dance around, jab, jab, jab. And it will not be a very fun fight. It'll be low scoring in DraftKings. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Andre Arlovski is 42 years old. So eventually he's going to look like he's 42 years old, and that's going to be the end of an era. But his last few fights, he's shown he can dance, and I think he'll dance. And Philippe doesn't have much power. High volume, busy, but not a lot of power. So I think it's him and Andre dancing around, just out jabbing each other. I'm all right, Josh. How are you? The middle finger in your name keeps screwing me up, because I keep thinking you're doing that to me, and I'm like, what? So I keeps throwing me for a loop. So I am messing with, we signed up for Twitch, which honestly, I just did it because the software allows us to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. So we're streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook right now. So I did, if you guys are big Twitch people, feel free to watch there. I have no idea where it's, I honestly, I'm not a Twitch guy, meaning I don't watch it. What's up, Only God? Thank you. Welcome. I don't watch Twitch for anything, and I haven't streamed on it before because honestly, I think it's going to die and YouTube's going to take over, because Twitch does a terrible job of letting your content exist after the live stream. And while we do a decent amount of live streams here, most of our content needs to continue to exist. So we'll see. So we're on Twitch. It's We Want Picks is the name. So check it out. I'm still figuring it out to clean it up, make it look nice. And we're also going to figure out how to embed our live streams on our website. And Jesse, I know you're looking for this. The live betting odds we're putting on there as well. That price doubled on me. It was going to be $1,200 for the developer to build it out, and then it went to $2,400 for the developer to build it out. So now we're looking at it to see if we're going to do the Bet Online betting odds or the Bet US betting odds. And basically, I'm going to go with whatever's cheaper for us to develop and build into our website. But once we get the live odds on the website, then you could literally be watching our fight companion with the live odds right next to it and just click and go and do it all together. So that's our plan. We're trying to build a freaking, I don't want to say empire. That's so stupid and cheesy, but we're trying to build a legitimate thing here, not just be, a little YouTube show. So we're doing it all. That was a little off topic, but Josh asked how I was doing today, and that's all the crap I've done today is try to figure that stuff out. And the gang will be back together. I know it's only been me, and thank God I've been winning my bets and winning money, because if it was only me and I'm losing all my bets, things would not be well. But Dan's been traveling like an absolute crazy person for work. Jacob never travels, and then these past 2 weeks was traveling, both of them. So it was just a tricky week. And then honestly, this coming week is going to be tricky too, because I'm going to Florida with my family to see my family. But after that, we will all be back together, and we have the Glover Teixeira interview. We were supposed to film it last night. So Glover, if you guys don't know, is a good friend of mine and Dan's. We're all from Connecticut. Glover's been in Connecticut for 20-something years. We all trained together forever. And so we were supposed to do an interview with Glover last night, but Dan was traveling. He was in Pennsylvania. He was supposed to be back in Florida in time for the interview, which we were going to do at 9. And then his flight got delayed. So then we're like, okay, let's push it till today. So we're either filming it at 4 o'clock today or like tonight or tomorrow night. So that Glover interview is coming. I saw some of your questions. So we'll see what happens with that. And that should be a fun interview because it's not a normal interview. Like, he's our buddy. He was in Dan's wedding. I was at Dan's wedding. Like, we're all close. So it should be fun. Although Glover's takes out for his title fight. So right now is peak miserable, right? Peak miserable, starting to really lose weight, not eating, not drinking. So hopefully, and he's like the most upbeat guy on the planet. So hopefully he'll be in a good mood. But right now is like peak misery as far as training camp is concerned, 2 weeks out. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, buddy. Appreciate it. And thank you, French Potato. Nick, I really enjoy your breakdown and analysis. Thank you. Keep up the good work. We love you all down here in South Mississippi. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone know much about Nunes? Yeah, she's a phenomenal professional Muay Thai kickboxer. If you scroll up in the comments, the record was posted earlier. It's like 54-4 or some crap like that. Phenomenal kickboxer. I think she should win this fight, but she is coming off of a 3-year layoff. 1 year was just a regular layoff. 2 years of it because she was suspended for doing a bunch of steroids. So you don't know what she's going to look like after 3 years. You just don't know. But I have to assume that she'll show up with the same skill and technique that she had 3 years ago. And if she does, she should be able to blow through a Carnellosi who doesn't have much of a chin. Carnellosi is strong, could bully her way to a win. That's her path. If I'm her coach, I'm saying bully. Literally bully, crowd bully, hold her against the cage, drag her down, bully, bully, bully. But we'll see. Nunes is the better fighter, so we'll see what happens. What's up, Zick? Thanks, man. On our Twitch. You're the very first Twitch comment ever. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Steven, Klein, Farrow, and Silva in Knockout Kings. Let me tell you, well, if you guys watched my Monkey Knife Fight video, you know what I'm doing for Knockout Kings, but I don't remember. So let me pull it up. That's exactly what my Knockout Kings is. I have Farrow, Klein, and Silva. I only did one. So you can do for 2 knockouts, 3 knockouts. I only did for 1 knockout. I'd rather guarantee myself a small payout than lose chasing a bigger one. Let's see what we got. Josh, you missed the $250,000 on NFL Thursday by 10 points because they decided to bench your 5th player. That's rough. I made some money in some Monkey Knife Fight money on football this week. I lean on my brother-in-law. He's big football guy. So I lean on my brother-in-law for some picks. And Jacob is solid too with football picks. And you know what's funny? So our channel's called We Want Picks. I've managed professional fighters. Dan is a professional fighter. Nick Newell, who most of you should know, professional fighter. And Jacob's a big fight fan. He's our buddy. So we do fight picks, right? That's what we do. And you've hopefully been watching this whole time. But it's a very generic name. And we keep getting, people keep reaching out to us to do more. Like, can you do football picks? Can you do this? I have fantasy companies, like upstart fantasy companies reaching out to us to do deals, but they don't do fights. So it's like, I want to stay true to who we are and what we do, but there is a market for other picks and other sports. So I'm not going to do it on the YouTube channel, but if people are really looking for football picks and basketball picks and stuff like that, as far as plays and bets are concerned, I might bring in some outside help and have them manage that content. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the YouTube channel because, there's like this saying in YouTube where you can be successful doing literally anything, but you cannot be successful doing everything. So just UFC, we can grow like crazy, be super successful. If we start doing UFC and all these other sports, all of a sudden we might be too generic. So we'll see. Yeah, and we may need to dip our toes, and we're figuring it out as we go. Jesse, thank you very much for the donation. You're the most generous guy in the world. We pull out here's all the Dan Kramer cards that Jesse sent us. So Dan Kramer, the other member of our team here, was in the UFC, fought in the UFC, got himself a Topps UFC card, and all of our members get these cards. So as I always say, if you're a member and I have not sent you a card either because I forgot or you haven't asked, reach out now. Go to wewantpicks.com. At the bottom, there's a form to email us. Reach out, give me your address, let me know your username, and we'll send you a card. And thank you, Jesse, for finding all those. JP, how do you feel about your lineups? You play main GPP. I do single entry lineups. I don't like the giant prize pools. That's not my thing. I do 50-50s and double ups because I'm positive I'm better than half the people out there. I am not positive I'm better than 10,000 people. So Dan just won $8,000. If you guys saw the screenshot there, Dan won $8,000. He won $4,000 twice because he did the same lineup in the multi-entry 2 times. And, so obviously many months of not winning a bunch of money paid off because he just got an $8,000 payout. I personally, just like with my bets and everything else I do, I would rather win every week small amounts than just be chasing giant amounts. So personally, I don't do the GPP. I do 50-50s and double ups. I do $25, $50, and just do a few of those. I win most of them, or win in most of them, because I only have to be better than half the people. And then just, if I'm being transparent, I usually win $100, $200 a week. I withdraw a bunch of it, leave in about $100. That's why every time I do my breakdowns, you see I have $100 in my DraftKings. I have $100 in my Monkey Knife Fight. It's exactly what I do. I play it. I'll win 100 or 200, something like that. If I have a great week, a little more. I'll withdraw most of it over 100. I'll leave 100, and then that cycle continues. So I don't, where Dan just won $8,000, so he's won more than I have, right? But I also win a couple hundred every week, and he was losing every single week until last week. So to each their own. I totally get why people chase it, but I'd rather be better than half the people than try to be better than thousands. And how do I feel about my lineup this week? So we're not allowed to share full lineups anymore. We got our hands slapped by DraftKings. We got suspended. They revoked our privileges. So that's why we sort of changed the format. You don't see our lineups anymore. It's against their policy. Fine. But I don't love it. I'm going to look at it now. I'll tell you what I got going on. I don't love it. The pricing this week is so hard. Like, I'm positive I'm going to have a loss in here. So I like Norma Dumont. I like Bruno Silva. I like Ferro. I like Amiv. Oh, maybe I do like my lineup. Holy shit. All right, I'll just tell you what it is. Don't tell DraftKings. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get in trouble. I'll tell you who I like. I like Norma. I like Bruno. I like Nunes. I like Ferro. I like Amiv. Then you're stuck with like an Andre Arlovsky type price point. And I think Andre wins. I told you guys that. I just don't know how many he'll score. When I did the DraftKings video and I click on his name and it pulls up how many points he scores. He had like 2 different wins where he had 44, 52. Imagine you spent that money and he only scored 44 points for you. But then the payouts aren't as big if there's fewer people. So it depends what you're chasing. You're coming up when DraftKings comes down on you. Yeah, they came down on hard. Me, Jacob, and Dan all got suspended at the exact same time. We all got an email saying your account's been suspended, blah, 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 blah. And then we all had to work with them. They made us change wording on the website. They made us, we had to delete a bunch of stuff, change. And, it's against their user policy, which obviously we didn't know that. But when it's like anything else, when you agree, you click agree, there's 15 paragraphs of tiny print and it's in there. So no more sharing full lineups, which honestly, I think the new format's better because when we would share lineups, we would talk about the 6 fighters in our lineup, where now we talk about almost all of them on the card. So hopefully it's better for you. Me and Dan are the same. I win, then lose, win, then lose, up and down. But overall, I stay up. Yeah. Yeah. Dan's feast or famine because Dan and I, as you guys know, we have a perpetuating bet every single week. We bet each other. Whoever has the best lineup has to pay up. Same amount of money every single week, no matter what, even if you forget to do a lineup. No exceptions. Every week, money, bet, period, end of story. And he's paid me like the last 4 months. And then finally last week I had to pay him. But the best part was right before right before the main event, Jacob was like, you want to bet straight up $100? What was the main event last week? What the hell was her name? The freaking grappler. Oh my God. Dern. She's like, you want to straight up bet the main event? I'll take Mackenzie. I was like, all right, $100 straight up. So then we bet. Jacob lost, and I was like, just send it to Dan, because that was the first week I lost to Dan. So it actually worked out. If you're winning like 20% of the time at fantasy, you're doing really well. Let's put it this way. In all money situations, like whether it's straight up sports betting, gambling, fantasy, the house always wins. That's why there's so much money. The house always wins. That's why these casinos are giant. That's why the sports books are giant. Like, the house always wins. Some of us pick our spots. We win consistently and do well. Eventually I'll lose. Just hopefully I'll lose a little bit and then get right back on my streak. But if you're chasing big money, you're going to lose big money while doing it. That's why slow and steady wins the race. And that's what that's what I'm all about, at least. I don't know if Amiv pays off that 9,100. So the reason I went with Amiv is because his kickboxing is really good and his grappling is really good. So I think he'll win the striking exchanges, and I think he can do, I think he can score a bunch of takedowns. It's 5 points per takedown. And I think he can get a bunch of takedowns and make something happen, score some points. So I liked Amiv more than what the hell's his name? Here, let me share this. Let me share. Okay. I like Amiv more than, come on. Who is it? Who's the super expensive person? Ding, ding. Klein. I like Amiv more than Klein, honestly. Like, I think Klein will win, but and like, he could go out there and knock Nate Landwehr out super quick, super easy, which is what he's supposed to do. Or he could, it could be a little bit of a longer fight because Nate slows down the craziness. But I think Amiv will get a bunch of takedowns and really make something happen no matter what. Oh, look who's here. Jacob messaging us from the Stairmaster. Sorry, hopefully that wasn't a disgusting sound to hear. Me slurping. But yeah, let's look at DraftKings real quick. We have about an hour 20 to lock all this crap in. See a pic of wine. I'm live streaming. So I went on for work. I go to Napa, and I don't know much about wine. I do drink a lot of wine because the alcohol percentage is through the roof, and I don't get any, headache, no stomach, nothing. So I drink a lot of wine at home. And for work, we went on a trip and went to Napa, and we went to this guy Robert Mondavi's house. And he gave us like all these select wines. And I had no idea who this guy was. So I'm just hanging out, drinking, like all, like 20 of us or whatever. And it was a really good time. And then we get back on the bus or whatever it is. And I Google it. And I'm like, oh my God, he's like legit famous. And then we got a bottle of wine sent to us. And my wife is asking what it is, because I think it's like many hundreds of dollars. So can't just live stream. Got to answer my wife and her ridiculous questions. Will that work? Ooh, holy shkavoo. Here it is. Okay. To this stuff. And Lock is 100. I don't even know if Jacob lifts weights. I think he's more of a Stairmaster butt exercise kind of guy. And then if you go to his Instagram, it's mostly 3/4 naked pictures in front of the mirror flexing for attention. So if that's what you guys are looking for, check out Jacob's Instagram, 3/4 naked pictures flexing for attention Every now and then he'll put a black bar over something that definitely doesn't deserve a black bar. And no, Alex, you have this wrong. Happy birthday, Josh. Okay. Jacob definitely starved for attention. Okay. So let's take a look at some of these prices. So listen, this is a tricky card at the pricing. So I like Amiv. I like Ferro. Lupita is great, but $9,000 is hard to spend on that. Like Ferro at 8,900 is more of a lock to me than Godinez at 9,000. I do think Lupita blasts through Carolina, but did you guys see the video or the pictures that the UFC put out of Manon Ferro training? She's got a nice high leg kick. You can see every vein. Like she is jacked and ready to go. Like Manon Ferro is scary. And I'll never forget, Jacob picked against her because he's terrible at doing this. Last one really torn about Bagarel. He has me money. He's made me money last two, but Davis might just take him down in control. Also, Davis, highest owned dog on DraftKings. Yeah, he's probably, let's see how much Davis cost. At $7,600. Let's see who is cheaper than him. So I like Nunes over Davis because I think Nunes actually wins, where I'm not sure if Davis wins. But then we have Gonzalez over Miller. I don't think that happens. I think Jim Miller can get in there, take him down, do what he needs to do. Bueno Silva over Ferro. Don't see it happening. Carolina over Godinez. Don't see it happening. Roberts over Amiv. Don't see it happening. And Nate the Train over Klein. Don't see it happening. So that's why he's the highest owned underdog, because of all of these underdogs, he's got most of a chance to win, honestly. So, he's not bad at that price point. And Bagarel could absolutely lose to Brandon Davis. Absolutely. Brandon Davis is an actual veteran. He went 2-5 in the UFC, but, you look a little closer, and who did he lose to, right? He lost to some real people. So, Brandon Davis, probably a good pick at $7,600. Personally, I think Bagarel gets it done, but that's why you got to pick your spots, right? Now, this is not a fight where I'm going to put a flag in the ground and say 100% this is going to happen, no exceptions. So I think, I think Bagarel wins, but I'm not putting money on it. I'm not putting him in my lineup. I think Davis gets out to sleep. Bagarel striking is good, next level power. I think you will be surprised. Not only does he have crazy power, his striking is very clean. And if Brandon Davis was a very good wrestler, it would be different. But his wrestling's not great. His jiu-jitsu is very good, but his wrestling is it's just okay. So, and he's got to work for those takedowns. So I told you Monkey Knife Fight, I like the less more quite a bit. So that's probably, let me just go play that right now, actually. Do I have that already played? Nope. So I'm going to go do the less more right now, because I think Bagarel 94 strikes or whatever. That's pretty, where are we? Where is it? Let me share this screen. Do I have Silva or Sanchez? Bruno Silva, for sure. Bruno Silva's got real power, ground and pound type style. Andrew Sanchez is tough, but I think Bruno Silva puts a beating and gets that done. And this is big Bruno Silva, obviously. Let me share my Monkey Knife Fight screen. So I only have $5 left. I started with 115. I've only got 5 left. So here's my last $5. Nope, not this fight. My last 5. Where are you at, big dog? Can I not read? Am I having reading issues? Here it is. I'm going to do less, more. We'll do $5. Lock it in. Let me show you what I got going on here. Anybody who's watching and you have not done, first of all, like the stream, subscribe, It costs you $0 to do that. It is half a second worth of a thumb click, and it goes a really long way for us and the channel. And it basically just tells YouTube, hey, people like this content. Maybe I should put their content at the top of the list. And the closer we get to the top of the list, the more views we get, the faster we grow, and everybody's happy. So like the stream, subscribe if you haven't. It is unbelievably appreciated. If you want to go the next mile, you could send a super chat, which would be very appreciated, or you could become a member. Click the join button below. You get a fancy Dan Kramer card. We're rolling out new member stuff. When we do that Glover interview, if it is live, which I honestly don't know yet, if it is live, I'm going to make that a members only. Everybody can watch it, but only members can comment in the live chat. Anyway, let me take a drink. Okay. Here we go. Here's all of my Monkey Knife Fight stuff. So this is $115 worth of Monkey Knife Fight plays. And we'll see how I end up doing. My Knockout Kings, I put $50 on it. I got Ferro, Klein, and Silva. I only need one of these people to get a knockout. I'll get $62.50. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, right? I'm risking $50 to get $62.50. The reality is it is a 25% return. So I'm making 25% of the money. And it's nothing's a guarantee in MMA, but this is as close as you are going to get. One of these three will win by KO or TKO, and that's basically free money. So I'll take that. In DK, what's better, Miller, Klein, or Ferro, Loopy? Oof. I would say the safer one is Ferro, Loopy, because Klein and Ferro should both win by KO or TKO. But and Jim Miller should win. I have a tiny little flyer on him to win by stoppage. Jim Miller should win, but he's also aging, you know, and his opponent does have some okay power. So Lupita will probably score more than Jim Miller. I could be wrong, but she will probably score more points than Jim Miller. So I'd go Ferro Loopy instead of Klein Miller. And everybody else, feel free to weigh in and give me your thoughts. Then I have Dumont. This is a rapid fire. Dumont with 36 strikes to get more than Ladd. And I think that's a pretty back and forth fight. So she's going to get 36 handicap against her opponent. Perfect. And then Carnelozzi to get to land more than Bagarai, and Bagarai gets and Bagarai's getting a half. The only reason I went that route is because I think Bagarai's going to win by KO, so that'll be early. Carnelozzi, that'll probably go 15 minutes, and it's going to be mostly striking. If Carnelozzi does get a takedown and beats the hell out of Nunes, great. At least for DraftKings or for Monkey Knife Fight, she'll score a bunch of points or land a bunch of strikes. So that is 10 to win 30. And there's a theme here, right? I can miss a few of these, win a few, and I'm up money. That's why Monkey Knife Fight is, honestly, I like it more than DraftKings. It's very different than DraftKings, but as far as just making money is concerned, I like it more than DraftKings. wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up while you're watching this stream. They'll instantly match your deposit and take the free money that they match and then use that free money to play some of these lines. And these are locked in. These are not going to move again today, or at least I don't think they will. And let me text Chris, see if he wants to join. He's in Vegas. Chris Riley, want to join the live stream. And we'll text Dan, but we know that lazy piece of crap. And Jacob just comes in for attention and then leaves. No, he has no actual intentions of contributing anything meaningful. He just wants people to tell him he looks good, and that's the end of it. Then I got damn where this fucking go. Yeah, what's up? I'm right now. You want a link? Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured. I'm live right now for another hour if you want. You can join from your phone too if you're just outside. So, all right, goodbye. She might. Okay, I gotta go. People are just watching me talk on the phone. Goodbye. Yeah, okay, goodbye. Dan, I texted him, do you want to join the live stream? So he calls me. I'm thinking, and he goes, oh, you're live right now? So I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna? He's like, no, I can't. I'm playing with my daughter. Okay, then why did you call me? People don't think. Here we go. These are my favorite. 3 for 3s. We have Amiv, Landwehr, and Nunes. $10 to win 50. This is a hard one. So Amiv, more than 68. That actually is pretty easy. Nunes, more than 61. That was pretty easy. Landwehr's line of 68 is the tough one. That's the tough one. Because man, that's the tough one. Honestly, I probably should have gone less now that I'm looking at it. If I could undo that, I would probably go less right now. But that's a tough one. But 10 to win 50. So I'm obviously hoping that comes out. And then I have Landwehr and Klein. More on Landwehr, more on Klein. I figure it'll go 2 rounds and be a lot of striking before Klein gets that KO, TKO. And Landwehr puts up numbers because he comes out like a madman. Then Bagarai and Davis. I just did this one, $5 to win $12.50. I did less on Bagarai, more on Davis. Then Miller Gonzalez, 61.54. I did less. I figured I'd give it a shot there. I'm thinking Jim Miller can get a takedown, work submissions. He's not a super high volume guy anyway, even if he's on top. And Gonzalez, I don't think he's going to get anywhere near 54. He does like one kick at a time, super long, one kick, one jab, not a ton of combos, not high volume. So I'm fine with his less. It's Jim's less that worries me a little, but I think we're good there. Let's see, we got a couple messages. I could not disagree with a statement in this comment section more. I completely disagree with this. So you're saying if Jim Miller doesn't win by submission in the first round, he's not going to win this fight. He has no chance of winning. That's crazy. He can get a takedown in every round and work from there. For all we know, Gonzalez is phenomenal at ducking his chin and keeping his hands up. So I completely disagree with that statement. Completely disagree. I hope he gets a first round submission. Then I'll hit my monkey knife fight and my bet, but I just don't, I absolutely could see him winning a decision as well. I put the whole lineup into a parlay to all win by finish only or decision, no action, just for fun today. $30 bet, $900 payout. You put $30 on that? That's such a long shot. So you put all 11. You're basically saying none of these fights will end. None of the fights will end inside of the distance. That's what you're saying. I mean, we'll see what happens. And I said this in a different section too. That's the beauty of a fist fight. We will find out. Who prefers lifting weights? Oh, Jacob. Oh, 100%. 100. Oh, he just does a show for the attention. And then once you guys stopped paying attention, he was like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I got Felipe Arlovsky more. I think they dance around playing patty cake for 15 minutes. Felipe is a pretty high volume guy. Arlovsky has not been a high volume guy lately, but he should be able to get there. All of them to win by finish. Oh, finish only, decision, no action. Gotcha. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And then I got the main event. I got more and more in the main event. Aspen Ladd's number's so high that it worries me, but I do think it'll be a good long fight. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go back to the bets. There we go. So I'll cover quickly. Oh, is it in the same tab? Sure is. Come on. Clean it up. Nice and pretty. Okay. So here's my bets on the card. If you hadn't seen them. Oh, I can reuse. Fancy. Sorry, you can't see what I'm looking at, but I can. Okay, so I have Norma Dumont money line. I like her to win this fight. I should have bet it earlier when I could have gotten like plus 130, but I waited too long. I thought the numbers were swinging in my direction, and then they just came swinging right back. So I got only plus 108 on that. Bruno Silva minus 153. I don't normally. Oh my god, how boring myself. I don't normally go that far down, meaning I don't normally grab a minus 150. But I'm pretty confident that he's going to win. And honestly, once my bets were canceled with Jordan Wright fight, I was like, oh, man, I got to make something happen. And then I got Jim Miller wins inside the distance, half a unit. Just threw that up there, see what'll happen. And, just have that sitting out there for now and just playing with it. So those are, that's what I got going on. So we'll see what happens with these. I'm most confident in Norma and Bruno. The Jim Miller one was just kind of for fun to see what happens. No, I was saying that I'm boring. I bored myself. I don't know, but your statement was he's first round or bust. That is a very different statement than when was the last time he won a decision. Very different statement. Tell me the last time he won the first round and then busted, because that's your statement. He either wins here or busts. So I want to let me know when he busts, basically. Oh, Chris Riley says he'll join us. All right. Send Chrissy Boy a link. Stop sharing that one. Okay. Sorry, you can send Chris Riley a link. The Monkey Knife Fight man himself. And it's pretty cool that he does this. I mean, legitimately, it's us versus him is technically how this works. But he, he's a good guy. He gets it, and he likes to share his insight. Live link. Oh, shit. Hold on. I'm sorry. This must be riveting television for you. Live link. Send. Okay. We sent that to Chris. So, here we go. Let's shrink it. I'm very anal about the bars on the inside. Okay. So, guys, share. I want to know your picks. Let me know who you guys love as an underdog, because there's not a lot. Every fight, every card, there's live underdogs, but I think this one is mostly favorites and then a couple of pick'ems. I don't see any giant upsets going on here. Anything's possible for sure. But, I see a lot of favorites doing what they're supposed to do. So my buddy just texted me. I'll read this to you guys. Do you think the UFC is trying to get Jim Miller a win or get Jim Miller out of the UFC? So you let me know what you think, and I'll tell you what I'm typing. So I'm saying I think they are testing his opponent, and Jim is a good test. Not a world beater, but a ton of experience. And Chris is here.
Angelo!
What's up? How are you?
I cannot complain. What is up, buddy?
Was that your Vegas hotel room?
This is. Is it a little too bright for you back there? This is insane. I have a friend.
Yeah, your face is dark and the back is bright.
Well, then perhaps I need to do a little of this action.
Wow, fancy.
Dude, this came as a total surprise. I had a friend who just has these hookups at this place. He's like, yeah, I'll get you a room. I'm like, can I get one with 2 beds? My brother's actually in town. And then he's like, yeah, they only had 1 suite available because everyone else was rented, and they just gave me this place, dude. It's straight out of a freaking movie, man. Look at that. It's just like hallway for days.
Jesus. What hotel is this in?
This is at the Red Rock.
Oh, the Red Rock's awesome. I went there for I went to the Red Rock for like a work conference years ago. It's awesome.
Dude, yeah, I know. always seen these things, and I didn't even know if there were rooms or not. So this is not the norm at all. It's hard to act like I've been here because I've not been here, but it's been surreal, man. So yeah, with that said, it has been a busy week, and I really haven't done too much because I got a bunch of personal shit going on out here, and then yeah, what's going on this week with the fights? Don't really know. This is a good week for you guys to pick my ass off because I have been slacking. It's not that great of a card. Again, I feel like we got some good ones coming up, but this one, I mean, it had some respectable names, but you know what I mean? It's not one of those crazy ones. And I also didn't realize it starts so soon. Again.
Yeah, it's an early card, which I hate because I can't really watch, I can't really watch them the way I'd like to because I got the kids. And Jesse, the best comment here, saying the Red Rock has a good buffet. Have you checked that out?
Honestly, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. It's closed because of COVID, and I can't even find the place, and I think they walled it up. And I think it's throwing me up. I used to live right down the street for 3 years, and I moved back when this COVID crap stuff to Colorado. So I'm actually just heading back. So I've been here plenty of times, and the buffet absolutely is bomb, especially the breakfast one on Sundays, dude. But yeah, everything's closed. I don't know when they're going to open that shit up or if they're keeping it down permanently or what the hell's going on. Because trust me,
who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You still got to wear a mask here, man. That's pissing me off. I don't know. Where you at? Are you in Texas right now?
I'm in North Texas. And it's basically, there's no mandate. It's up to each individual store what they want to do.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of how it is, like in Colorado too. So no one wears it. If you're vaxxed and relaxed, you're good to go. Or if you just fucking wear a mask. But yeah, out here, everyone, it depends. It's funny because like you walk around the Red Rock and like my brother's friends are up here, and they don't have a mask on, but people like don't really give a shit. But then you walk into a gas station, and that's when the employees get all high and mighty and give you shit. Really? Sir, you got to put a mask on? And it's like, I'm just not used to it. I comply, whatever, with the mask anyways. I just don't want to fucking deal with that. That's funny. Bro, what are the plays this week that you're touting out? What are you and your little asshole friends pounding on me right now? I have to take a look at our liabilities
these are all of my – well, don't change anything. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. It's too late. They're locked in, Chris.
Yeah, what is it? I'm just curious.
No, I went with
done is done. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I told you, I don't have my screen. I don't have the actual screen of the live stream, so I wasn't seeing this. Sorry, I was looking at my back end to look at the numbers.
So I got to. Real quick, let me answer Josh's question. Josh said he needs a 1.5 times top earner for fantasy lineup. Honestly, I think if you have the money to spend, I think the highest scoring person will probably be like Amiv or Klein. Maybe not Klein, but I think Amiv will be up there, or Ferro. I think Bruno Silva is a decent price point, but Norma Dumont should score really well, and she's pretty affordable. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I did not get to listen to crap this week. And usually, I watch your guys' podcast probably like 3-4 times a week. I'm just always glued in. And then I watch a bunch of other people and get their insight. But I'm not even playing this week. Well, I don't play any week, but I try to join into your contest. And Meep doesn't seem to he doesn't score very well. That's why I was curious because I was thinking about, because I was trying to make a lineup before I got out to Nevada. And
so in Vegas, you can't even do fantasy, right?
No, man. No, I'll tell you what's insane is, I can't do fantasy, period. Like I can play in your free games, but I got banned because I work with Monkey Knife Fight. But you can't do any DFS stuff, and you can't use any of the apps like FanDuel or DraftKings or any of them out in Vegas.
In a casino,
dude. And it is such shit. I hate it, man. It's like, it's funny because I have friends in Vegas when I was in Colorado calling me to make bets, and I did the same fucking thing. My brother got here on like a day after me, and I was like, bro, you need to log into my FanDuel because I wanted to do like starts the second round. And like they don't offer any of that shit here, dude. It's just very straightforward if they offer anything at all. But with that said, town like this stations and shit like that, they're great because they sleep. So if you follow line and line movement happens, like it's kind of crazy to say that they sleep being a casino, but they sleep with their odds, and you can pick them off for like 20-30 cent values. I am not watching shit this week. This is just like stuff I do in this industry, kind of stare at all these odds, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like when a fight's steaming, and then it's like, it's minus 130. Now it's minus 170, minus 180. And then you can look and you can find these slower books, and they're still at like minus 130. So it's crazy to see that in one of these big casinos, but they definitely do it. But with that said, you can't bet very many options. You can't bet half the shit you can do on like Bet Online, or you know what I mean? Any of the online apps, they're just so much easier. Fucking these old school dinosaur casinos, man. I tell you, it sucks.
Well, and they're not sports books. They have sports books in them, but it's less. All their money's in the actual casino part of it, so they don't really care to make it the best. Well, and then sports betting experience.
Well, and then that's the other thing they're doing. All these books here too, they all have their own apps. So which is cool, It's like cool you have an app, but you still have to go to a physical cage, dude. Once you get to like these newer apps and stuff like that, where it's just getting deposited straight into your bank, like if you can do like, for example, Stations Casinos, which is Red Rock, they have their Stations app, and you can bet on there. You can bet on Boyd, you can bet on Caesars. So all the casinos have apps, so you don't have to actually go to the front desk. Even though my brother's looking forward to that today, he's never done that. He's made hundreds of bets, but he's never made one over the counter. So it's a big day for him. And we're writing your plays, dude. I'm sorry about that. I think I messaged you about that. That's kind of funny. We just went off of your picks, and I have not been paying attention to shit. And I told my friends out here, I'm like, oh yeah, my boy likes this and this, and and you're conservative, so
I don't like being
I know they're gonna jinx you. Yeah, but they're idiots anyways, and they don't care. But I was just kind of surprised to see the money casually thrown down. I'm like, you guys, and they're parlaying it, so they're going big or go home. While I get your approach is like which is what I typically do, just try to win a couple units. But not these motherfuckers. They're ready to play. So yeah, we got some interest in the fights tonight. I haven't made my bet yet, so I haven't even seen if the lines have moved.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's catch up on some chat real quick.
Ryan, sure. We're live streaming, bro.
Yeah, well, Ryan said Jim Miller or Klein in DraftKings. If you can afford both, I would go with Klein over Miller for sure. But even at that price point, you can get Ferro. If you don't already have her, you can get, there's some good money to get there. Stroll with Joel said, what are some good parlay plays so far? Dumont money line.
You guys. Yeah. And what's his name? Dumont money line parlayed with
Bruno Silva.
That's what we're riding out here today. That's the money.
Those are my only two money lines. So if you smash them together, that's what I'm hoping those both pay off. And honestly, they should. No, the biggest issue with the Norma Dumont pick.
Hold on. You guys hear that? Angelo said, honestly, they should to our parlay. We're going to win.
It's my parlay. So of course. The only concern I have with Norma Dumont is Aspen Ladd's legit good. Like legit good. She's the only one. Like Aspen Ladd concerns me because she could show up, but it's been 2 years. Her knees are blown out. She was supposed to fight 2 weeks ago. She's coming up in weight. I think there's too much working against her. And then Norma Dumont is also very good. So that's why I like Norma.
Hey, I can give you a little insight from, I don't know, for what it's worth. Someone was asking who to pick for fantasy. For some reason, everyone seems to be pounding the shit out of Klein's fantasy points with us. So people like him to score a lot of points. I don't know what you think of that, and then I'm hearing you, so that made me worried. I did change that line today, the fantasy points on Klein, but that was one of our earlier ones. Yeah, so you get those early round stoppages even with our scoring system and shit like that. And yeah, people are calling for some kind of big stoppage. So I just moved it like 5 points, but that's the one that I can say from our side we're getting hit with.
It's funny because the question was between Klein and Jim Miller. Wouldn't
you say Klein has a higher ceiling? Jim Miller is kind of slower paced though. And what are the odds on those? Let me see.
I think Miller was a 2-1 favorite, but I think Klein might be a larger favorite than that. I don't have it up in front of me.
Well, the fight to go to a decision is like -125 in the Jim Miller fight to go there. Yeah. And in the Klein fight, it's -225 that it does not go to a decision. So, yeah. That's saying that. Well, when I look at that stuff, that's what I kind of look at to see like what kind of, that's what the average like line looking person that's kind of tries to compare their picks off of the odds and stuff like that. You obviously have a better finishing rate, which gives you a better ceiling. So it would sound like Klein, but what the hell do I know? These are the numbers, man. And that's why that's like I tell you, I love talking to you guys. We talk about that shit all the time out here. It's like, dude, it's so hard to put numbers to these fights, man. It's like a 5-fight sample size, and they're going to act like they know what these guys are.
Oh,
And
especially because I will go to UFC stats. So anytime you guys watch this and you hear me
you've
rattle
been
off,
doing that a lot lately too.
accuracy, I go to UFC stats and I get that. But if it's somebody that only has one fight in the UFC, I'm not going to read off their stats because that is based off of one single fight. So they're skewed numbers and matchups dictate everything. So, but
So
it is useful, but not with a small sample size, like you said.
yeah, and this is what was kind of cool too. This is just random, but it ties together with this. Dude, so when I was flying out here, I've been listening to Joe Rogan shit, and I was just listening to his last podcast with that Bert whatever and whatever. Bottom line is he was talking about when he used to commentate on UFC in his early days. He was saying that he used to bet on the fights he was commentating, and he was kind of breaking it down to kind of the reasons I've always felt. And it was cool to hear Joe Rogan saying that. He's like, dude, I knew these guys are coming out of these camps, and it's like, why the hell are these odds like that? And he said he was hitting like 8 out of 10. But eventually he stopped. And honestly, that's why I've been just hardcore UFC fan for like this reason alone, because dude, you can't put these number sample sizes to this as you can another sport that has like, how many minutes each game is going to go, how many possessions, because that's how you kind of do all the numbers on the other sports. But in fucking fighting, dude, it's like, and hey, since we're live, I know we're not, sorry about the language, but we're cool with that, right?
Yeah. I'll see when this video's over if we have a yellow or a green. We'll see what happens.
Okay, I always forget about that. But obviously, I'm having a good time out here, so I'm feeling it.
Enjoy yourself. We should. I mean, you're allowed to curse. They just will remove the ads. So Ryan Durkin said, "How about this? Dumont and Loopy or Klein and Nunes?" I would do Dumont and Loopy over Klein and Nunes. I like Nunes to win, but it's still her UFC debut. It has been a 3-year layoff. And I think Dumont could win by stoppage, but at least she's got 5 rounds to work with. So she has more time to score some points. Loopy should win by stoppage. Klein should win by stoppage. And Nunes, we don't know, but Klein and Nunes are only 3-round fights. Dumont's got 5 rounds to work with. That's 2 extra rounds. So I would take Dumont and Loopy if that's my choice. Just using logic.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I kind of like Loopy this week a lot. I mean, she looked hot, and it's not like she really did anything. She kicked some ass for 4 minutes, and if anything, she's training. She's ready to fight. That's not a concern, right? It's not like she just had a war.
No, exactly. Here, do me a favor.
What are her odds? Honestly, that was one I was going to tell you, though. I was looking at that this morning. She opened at minus 285, like as soon as she took over, it says on the 14th, and got bet down to 200. So I guess that's good for us if we're still on the Loopy end. Because that's kind of weird.
100%. But you know what the most interesting line was? Is the I don't have it up here, but the Manon Ferro versus Myra Bueno Silva line, because, and we talked about that in the breakdown, that fight was booked, didn't happen, and then they rebooked it. So Vegas got to see the money come in. They got to see what people bet on. They got to see how it all fleshed out, and then the fight didn't happen. And now it's happening again. So what's interesting is Ferro became less of a favorite. She went from like minus 225 to minus 200. And DraftKings took her from 9,100 to 8,900, which means a lot of people were on her opponent the first time around. So that one was interesting to me, that a lot of, that those, we're talking about a month, those odds changed a good amount in a month.
Wait, but I was looking at that as well, too. I remember you saying that because I watched your podcast like yesterday, and I was just kind of tracking the line. And what did you say it opened up? Because this is the same matchup. And I get it, because think about it like with my shit, dude. If I open something up, and let's say, and something stands out, like I just get fucking pounded on like 80 strikes. It's like, guess what? I'm pumped because now I don't have that liability. What do you think? I'm going to let you bet it at 80 again? Come on, guys. This is a job. So, of course, I'd move it up, but obviously her fight shouldn't get anything significant, but I didn't. But something I thought that was funny with the lines is that you said that it opened up, because this one opened at minus 185, and then it got bet back down, and that got back or down to the original line of when it first opened up. So I thought it was funny because I opened it up different, and then eventually it got that bet back to minus 155.
Itself, no matter what.
Right back to what it was the original time. So I found that one interesting. So, and the one thing I always have a hard time, again, I'm just so trained to stare at numbers and line movement, and sometimes it's good, but God, I still rather hear like the insight that you guys have as opposed to number watching, because just because a bunch of people are betting shit doesn't mean it's going to hit. I've seen this happen way too many times in my, in my industry, in my career. Chasing steam's a good sign, but in UFC, I love it when you're on a fight. Dude, that happened that one fight. You were on the inside the distance. It was minus 115. And I was like, oh, Angelo, it's minus 140 tonight. I'll see what it is tomorrow. That was like minus 179. And it's like when I see shit like that, then that's just pound town for these little bets.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, and his fight does not go the distance. I forget who it was, but I grabbed it early.
And then I did. Yeah, he line shopped it, and I found it for minus 130 at another book. So, yeah, I remember that one, too. That was nice.
I tell everybody to do that. And, JP, yes, throw your Miller stuff out. We'll talk about it. I tell everybody to do that. I know everybody has their preferred sports book, and I do most of my stuff in Bet Online because they have those crazy prop bets. But I'll go to Bet US for parlays because they'll let you parlay anything where Bet Online will not. They'll limit what you can smash together into a parlay. But yeah, I mean, move around. You can get better odds in certain places, especially like, Norma Dumont, I got at plus 108. I did not spend the time to shop it around. I'm sure if I shopped it around, I could have gotten her at plus 125 somewhere else.
She's 120 here. That's why I'll send you some links, dude. There's some really good ones. I've sent you it before, right? That's the thing too, because like it depends where you're located, man. If you're in a legal state, you can go to Best Fight Odds, and that's where I go. Just everything's right there. I used to work for a company called Dunn's Best, and we did this with every sport. So we're basically showing you a fight, and then just running across it has all the odds for all the books. And then you can just skim across, So if you had access to all of them, it makes betting really easy because you just skim across to see who has the best lines. And like I wanted to shoot myself in the head a couple of days ago. They had the fight got canceled anyways, but who was it? It was Philip Haas. Was it him? And he was minus 270. And it's just I was following that one, and I was like, holy shit, is this right? It's like minus 270, minus 270, minus 270. Plus 215. Someone had this line flipped. Dude, that is the biggest mistake you can make. And yeah, trust me, if you can ever find that in a sports book, bet the crap out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So JP in the live chat here was made the statement that Jim Miller was first rounder bust. And I said no. Jim Miller can win a decision. He's not first rounder bust. And now he's throwing out some stats saying Miller versus Selecki, Miller round 1, 10-9, 2 judges, cards, lost rounds 2 and 3. But that's not a good example, JP, because Joe Selecki's legit good. And it wasn't that Jim Miller, that's not first rounder bust. That means he had a good first round. First rounder bust is like, dominant first round, doesn't get a submission. That's it. Lights out. Miller versus Holtzman. Miller round 1, 10-9, 2 judges. And also, then it's not even unanimous for the first round. 2 judges cards, lost round 2 and 3, all judges like that. 40 fights. 40 fights. There's no spaces in your freaking messages, man. Hit spacebar. Here we go. Ryan Durkin says, do you think Bruno Silva KO Sanchez? I think he can. That's why I have him in my knockout kings right here. I think he can. And it's funny because he's got power in his feet, but he really is a ground and pound guy. So I think he absolutely can. I'm rooting for it. He's in my knockout king, so let's hope he does. Zach talking about you can't play Monkey Knife Fight in Pennsylvania, Chris.
I don't make the laws. Trust me, every state's different. Some states it's really bad. You can only do the stat shootout,
It is odd how it all plays out. Because in Connecticut, where I'm from, fantasy was perfectly legal, no issues. Then when I was there a month ago, I texted you saying I can't play here. And I had no idea that I wouldn't be able to. And then they legalized sports betting at the Indian casino. So that must have been related, where part of that Indian casino deal was probably banning fantasy for, to try to get people to bet actual money. So it was annoying. It was annoying. Jersey's got it all figured out. Jersey lets you do everything. Jersey, you can do all the gambling you want on apps or in person, and you can do all the fantasy you want on apps. Perfect.
Colorado, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Texas is going to be a long way away before that happens. Akin is asking Brandon Davis by decision. If Brandon Davis wins, then it will probably be a decision. Yes, if he wins, he might be able to pull off a submission. But I think
Hey, I'll be right
Bagarel
back.
wins that fight. Yep, I think Bagarel wins that fight. But Brandon Davis is a legitimate vet. He's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's good on the ground. The problem is his wrestling's not very good. So in order to get it to the ground, you have to wrestle to get there, right? So Bagarel's got some legit power in his hands, very good footwork. Brandon Davis, his striking is mediocre. His ground game is good, but the in-between is not. The wrestling is not. So I think Bagarel wins that fight. With that being said, Brandon Davis could win. He's a legitimate veteran who's been around for a while. He could win. So I only did monkey knife fight on that. I did not do DraftKings. I didn't put any money on it because I don't like it enough. Brandon Davis's chin has held up, but, you know, it holds up till it doesn't, right? He gets older and older, and the more he gets hit. We've seen him rocked before. We've seen him dropped. He hasn't been completely put out, but I would argue that Dumont Bagarel's got more power in his hands than anybody Brandon Davis has ever fought, even though Brandon Davis has fought some legit guys. Just raw power, Dunaw's got it.
Angelo, I got to get bouncing, buddy.
I'll see
Unfortunately,
you,
I appreciate having me on, dude. Like I said, if you're doing these solo ones and I'm around, I'm always off to this. But like I said, today's obviously kind of a crazy day. So my brother's got to go get a COVID test, so we got to bounce.
I got you. Thanks for hopping in. Appreciate it.
Good luck tonight, everybody. Hope you all get some cash. Later, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So thanks, Chris, for hopping in. Oop, that's not this week. Thanks, Chris, for hopping in. Chris sets the monkey knife fight lines that we were just looking at. Anybody who doesn't know that. So it's pretty cool of him to talk about his lines, how he got there. And obviously he's on vacation right now and just figured he'd hop in. So I appreciate that. Don Pablo, $95 to win 10,000. Arlovsky, Klein, Dumont, and Davis. That can't be. Is that really a 4-fight parlay? 100 to win 10,000? Am I reading that correct? Oh, 1,000. I was like, holy all right, I'll go in on that with you. All right. That makes 10 to 1 for 4 fights. That makes a little more sense. Let's look at that a little closer now that I'm over my initial shock. Arlovsky, Klein. Arlovsky should win. Klein should win. I like Dumont. Davis can. That's not terrible. 10 times. It's worth $1 if you think you're going to get that. And I'm rooting for you, and so's Nicholas. And JP, I get your point, man. I just disagree with it. I don't think Jim Miller is a first-round or bust guy. I don't think he ever has been. I don't think he is now. And just because he's had early success and then not success later, you know, in his last couple fights, I don't know. Do your last 3 fights dictate, you know, your entire career? Do they dictate what the next fight is? I don't think he's first-round or bust, but we'll see. We'll see what he looks like. We will see what he looks like. And I hope he wins in the first round. I've got the bet on him. I've got the less of monkey knife fight, so I hope he wins in the first round. Davis, Arlovsky, Klein, and we just mentioned that. How do I think the Arlovsky fight goes? I think it is a boring touch and go tap dancing fight. Honestly. I think Andre Arlovsky does not want to get into a firefight. His opponent, Carlos Felipe, doesn't have any real power. So I think it's just touch and go, jab, 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 and it's just dancing around. I don't think it'll be any grappling at all. And I think if there is grappling, you know, it may be Andre Arlovsky trying to initiate, but I think it's pretty boring. But there'll be a good amount of strikes, so more and more monkey knife fights, probably solid play. Zach, who has the most takedowns on this card? I think probably Ameev. Ramazan Ameev probably has the most takedowns. Him or Lupita. Lupita Godinez, solid takedown. Or Ramazan, my wife calling. Sorry. Hello? I'm live streaming, by the way. Well, what's up? No, but can I meet you at the birthday party? Because Glover can only do the interview at 4:00. Okay. Sorry. All right, bye. That's how it's done, boys. That's how it's done. So Glover Teixeira, he's gonna we're gonna hang out with him. Me and Dan are gonna hang out with Glover at 4:00 Central Time. But I have like a 3-year-old's birthday party that I'm supposed to go to. So luckily I've been watching the kids all day because my wife's at work. She's heading home. So a little flip of the script there, and it is what it is. That's how it's done. So we'll see. I'm going to get my ass kicked later, I'm sure. Okay. Thank you, Don Pablo. It is appreciated. Did you subscribe? I didn't see a notification. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I would be very appreciated. Okay. Plus 2,000 Dumont third round TKO. Listen, anything's possible. If you guys watch week after week, I have been very successful. I'm up money. I don't know if you hear my freaking kids screaming through the baby monitor. I'm up money every week for like the last several months, but I never chase odds like that. Obviously, I would love to hit plus 2,000, but I'm typically hitting, plus 100, minus 120s, stuff like that. And then I'm up 2 or 3 units every single week. Jacob loves chasing those, and he'll hit them. He'll lose a shit ton and then hit that and make a ton. So good luck. That's certainly a possible outcome. I personally wouldn't chase it, but some people like to live on the edge. Jesus, she's screaming. You probably can't hear her. And not screaming like crying, just screaming like playing, talking to herself. Tony Moreno, takedowns and control time are everything on DraftKings now. 100% agree. That's why Amiv is in my DraftKings lineup, because that's exactly what it is. See you, Josh. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Oh, gotcha. The kid asked what the odds were. I thought you placed that bet. Any fights you really like for live betting besides Miller? For live betting, honestly, I don't know. Let's look at the lineup here, see if it'll jog anything. Live betting. So live betting is great when there's like who can survive the. Let's put it this way. JP. Oh, yeah, besides Miller. Sorry. Because I was just about to say that. Honestly, Bruno Silva is probably a good live bet one, because he may start to slow down big time after the first round if he doesn't get that knockout. So Bruno Silva and Klein. I would say Klein and Silva are probably or not Klein. Sorry. What the hell's his name? Bagarai. Bagarai and Bruno Silva might be solid live betting fights, because they legit could start slowing down big time. Let me text Glover now that I got my wife's permission. 5 works. I will send you a link a few minutes before. Thanks for taking the time. Okay. So I don't know if we're going to do that live, but if you guys are around 5:00 Eastern time, Danny and I will be hanging out with Glover Teixeira, just shooting the shit. We know him personally. We've known him for a long time. We're all from Connecticut. We've all trained together. So it's not going to be like a formal interview, like, oh, well, but should be a solid time. I don't know if we'll go live. I'm literally going to leave that up to him, and he may not be comfortable going live. So we'll see. We will see. I have to take my little girl to Disneyland. Well, you enjoy and good luck. Hopefully you won't be cursing, because you followed along, you make some money. Amiv with takedowns or Klein with KO ability? I think either one's a solid pick, honestly. Amiv could get a stoppage as well. I think either one is solid. I just don't see Nate beating Ludovic Klein, but I think either one's solid. I'm not going to tell you, honestly. They're both. I think Ludovic beats Nate. Nate's crazy, comes out crazy, which can be his demise half the time. And then Ramazan Emeev. He's got finishing ability on his feet and a ton of takedowns and TKO on top ability. So, you may get more points out of a straight up knockout from Klein because you can get one early where Emeev won't finish early, but Emeev could get 1,000,000 points with takedowns, control time, beating up on top, and then a finish. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I guess potentially Klein has more of a chance to score a lot early. So that's that. So again, I got my bets on the screen. It's an interesting fight card. I like Norma Dumont. I'm a big Aspen Ladd guy. I've been high on her in the past, but I just don't know. I think it's a tough matchup. I think it's a tough matchup for her. It's one thing when she was coming back to fight what's her name. It's another thing she's coming back and she's fighting Norma Dumont at a higher weight class with the striking ability that she has and the power she has. Norma's legit. Need to do a Nunes Klein Emeev Dumont parlay. Nunes, Klein, Emeev, Dumont. Dumont should win. I like Emeev. I like Klein. I pick Nunes. Lots of question marks there, but what do you think? Or what are the odds on that parlay? Tony, Silva or Sanchez? I'm stuck on this. So if you have to pick between the two of them, for sure, Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva absolutely gets a knockout here or a TKO. Bruno Silva's got a ton of power and ground and pound. Like, people are not factoring the ground and pound in because they're just sort of looking at what he did in his last fight. Bruno Silva, look at his career as a whole, takes people down, beats the piss out of them. You're getting 5 points for a takedown, the beating on top. I like Bruno Silva in that matchup for sure. Yeah, and Andrew Sanchez does not have the greatest chin. And like I said, Bruno Silva, if Bruno Silva was a stand-up striker with power and that's it, it would be very different. But he's actually a wrestler, a grappler with power. So he looks to get it to the ground and then beat up from there. So I like Bruno for sure. That's why he's in my Knockout Kings and Monkey Knife Fight as well. Because Knockout Kings is TKO or KO. And if you guys don't know, go to wewantpicks.com/MKF. Monkey Knife Fight is super easy. It's like an app on your phone. All you need to do is pick the more or less on strike lines. Not even significant strikes, just total strikes. How many punches and kicks will land in this fight? And just do the more or less. It's honestly straightforward. You can triple your money. You can get up to 25 times your money, but I've never hit one of those. I think Jesse has. I've never hit one of those, but it's a ton of fun. wewantpicks.com/MKF, and they will deposit match up to $100. And then betting wise, hit up one of our betting partners. It's super helpful. And obviously we get a kickback from them, but it's super helpful. And it's genuinely who we use to do our bets. So if you go to wewantpicks.com/bets, we have Bet Online, Bet US, and sports betting. Sports betting and Bet Online are the exact same company, same line, same everything, just a different skin. So if you want to get your, double dip on your deposit match, do that. Bet Online has the best prop bets you will ever find betting on fights, period, end of story. And Bet US has the best customer service and the best parlay options. And if you do all sports, Bet US is probably the better one. Houston, which makes him very dangerous fighter. He's got top 10. Yeah, as long as he can continue this streak, continue to improve. Yeah, that kind of power and the takedown ability and the power inside the guard and stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. It should be. And honestly, I think Aspen Ladd gets outclassed, but Aspen Ladd has more heart, more determination, and is just more will to win than almost any other fighter on the roster. I mean, she has no quit in her whatsoever. So even if she's getting outclassed and is on the wrong side of a technical beating, she will be in it and she will be coming forward and she will continue to grind. So I actually think I agree with you. I think it should be a good main event. So should be a good card. I'll hang out for a few more minutes. I don't think I'm going to stick it all the way out, especially if I got to hop off, help my wife get the kids ready for their birthday party, and then come back on for the Glover interview. I'll probably hop out of here in a few minutes. So any last minute questions, let me know. Yeah, she takes her career seriously. She picks the appropriate matchups, and she's good at all the right things. So I agree. So yeah, any last questions? Hit me up. Let me know. Do all the things, please. All the things. You guys wanted a Discord. I gave you a Discord. There's a link in the description. We have a forum as well. If you like the more traditional forum out on wewantpicks.com, sign up for the betting, sign up for Monkey Knife Fights, like the stream, subscribe, all the things. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but hopefully you see some value in what we do and you will pay it back literally with money if you want, or clicking some likes, clicking the subscribe button, signing up for some things. That's all super helpful. Gonzalez over a vet like Miller won't be a smart play, but I think he has the stand-up and takedown defense to keep this fight standing. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Gonzalez can keep this fight in his feet. Thank you, Scarface. Appreciate it. I think Jim Miller will get this down because if you watch how Gonzalez fights, long, super long kicks, but not long combinations to keep you at the end. Long, like throw 3 kicks up the middle, no hands before or after the kicks, which is just begging to be caught. Then he backs up. He backs up a lot. And then he'll stop, plant his feet, throw a jab, back up again. And those are all opportunities for Jim Miller to shoot a takedown. And that's exactly what Jim Miller wants to do. Jim Miller's got clean boxing. And if you remember, Dustin Poirier basically said he got the idea for those Conor McGregor calf kicks from his Jim Miller fight. He's like, Jim Miller lit up my calves. I could barely move. It was the most painful thing in the world. So then I went back to the gym and said, I need to start training these. So Jim Miller's got those nasty calf kicks as well. So listen, he's 38. He's very old, especially in fight years. He's like 70. So I hear you. I do think he'll be able to get it down. And then once he gets it down, it should be a pretty big discrepancy. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head out. I appreciate the watch. I appreciate everything. You guys are fantastic. I would not be doing this and putting in the time and the effort if you guys weren't fantastic. So thank you all very much. You're an amazing community. Hopefully in my recap tomorrow, I'm talking about being up units again, but eventually that train will come to an end. But so far, so good. Thank you all very, very much. Let's watch some fights, and I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you in a couple hours with the Glover live stream. I doubt it'll be a live stream, but we'll see what happens. I'll see you tomorrow with my recap show.